Good day and welcome to Ejc News, your monthly recap of news items taking place across the East Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. I'm your host, Fabia Phillips Lawrence. In the news, annual convention held, critical info disseminated at Religious Liberty Convention, and over 60 graduate from School of Evangelism. Now the news. The annual conventions did not get underway as planned and saw the EJC administration taking the decision to hold just one in the month of January. One of the conventions, which was scheduled for Zone 4, was put off due to the inclement weather. However, one was held amassing the usual participation of the constituency. There, they were encouraged to get involved in the various ministries throughout the church.
So with best practices, Pastor Cunningham and myself, we are going to be joining the Kencut Church in giving each church the template where each member can join on to one of the 13 plus ministries. So that when you meet a member who's an Adventist church, it's an Adventist, what ministry are you assigned to? And the person might say, I am just the effort-focused ministry director for my church, and all I do is to invite people to church.
Treasurer Elder Don Main Giles took the opportunity to introduce the conference's newest way of remitting funds.
We have been able to accomplish one more way, and that is through our website. Now, it's very easy to find once you visit our website, www.ejcsda.com, and you navigate to the top right-hand corner, you will see a button called Donate. And you will be able to contribute all the options that you see on your tithe envelope.
Featured speaker, JAMU President Pastor Everett Brown, warned that the devil was about to unleash his last fury on God's people as he spoke on the theme emphasizing the transformation.
Troublesome times are here, and troublesome times are about to face God's people. The focus of Satan's attack is to weaken God's people spiritually. The focus of Satan's attack is to get us involved, to get us distracted, to get us involved in programs and activities, doing many things but achieving nothing spiritually.
Members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in East Jamaica Conference received well-needed information about their religious rights and freedoms as citizens of the country. They were educated on the matter during a Religious Liberty Convention at the Hagley Park SDA Church in January. It was held under the theme Liberty of Conscience Threatened, and saw religious liberty leaders from over 40 churches across the conference gathering to explore some of the religious liberty issues facing the church. Guest speaker for the Divine Service and director of the Parole Department in the Inter-America Division, Pastor James Daniel, spoke on future events and the comfort that God will be there to guide us.
I am clear, yes, God will allow his people to go through some trouble, the time of Jacob's trouble, but God will never abandon his people. So I say to you, church, today, no matter how difficult it may seem in the coming persecution, you need not to jump ship from God. Stay on board because Jesus is on board. The presence of Jesus on board of our lives and in the ship of the church does not say that there will never be a storm. What it does promise and assures us is that we will never be destroyed.
The convention spanned both morning and afternoon. Among those present who addressed the gathering were EJC President Dr. Eric Nathan, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Carol Palmer, and Director of the E.G. White Research Center at Northern Caribbean University, Dr. Robert Wright. Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Director for JAMU, Elder Nigel Coke, and his counterpart at EJC, Elder Philip Castell, also addressed the gathering. Elder Coker encouraged persons to respect the freedom of conscience for other persons.
We ought to celebrate freedom with kindness, with love, inviting others of other religions to our church and to get them prepared as we are preparing for the coming of the Lord.
For his part, Elder Castell encouraged the gathering to be firm in their belief.
My brothers and my sisters, in our workplaces, in our schools, when we stand up for God, it makes us target for the enemy. It makes us target for the enemy, but we must understand and remember that God is aware of our circumstance and our situation.
Another set of EJC School of Evangelism graduates are now ready to hit the road with new strategies to bring more persons to Christ. These lay preachers and Bible workers participated in a graduation exercise which was tied with the Lord Transform Me Members Appreciation Symposium, which was held at the Hagley Park SDA Church in January. The over 60 graduates came from the 4 zones within the conference. Principal for the School of Evangelism, Pastor Carl Cunningham, was among those who addressed the graduates, who learned more about the art of evangelism, discipleship, among other things.
And one of these days, C.S. Lewis says in his book, Weight of Glory, that the last thing, appreciation that will be given by Jesus Christ himself. When he will lay his hand on your shoulder and say words we will be glad to hear. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in little things, but now I will make you in charge of wonderful things, great things.
EJC President Dr. Ejc Nathan commended the graduates and special awardees for their hard work. Guest speaker and assistant to the president for the Jamaica Union Conference, Pastor Joseph Smith, who spoke, outlined that despite what is happening around, God is still at work.
God has given us tremendous talents and gifts and abilities. And by the way, as we use them, he multiplies them. Use them or lose them. And not only that, but here is something. With the talents and abilities that God gives us, we must not use it to destroy one another. We must use it to build up his church.
Following the graduation awards, several members of the church, including members of the Deaf Society, were awarded for their outstanding service in the various departments of the church. 2 recipients received the President's Award for Outstanding Work in Evangelism and Lay Preaching. They were Elder Noel Jump of the Andrews SDA Church and Sister Jennifer Dillian of the Ebenezer SDA Church. Teachers, students, parents, principals, and school administrators this month joined the alumni for a special service of thanksgiving to God for the tremendous progress that the Kingsway High and Preparatory School has made over the past 75 years. This 75th anniversary service was organized by the Jamaica chapter of the Kingsway Alumni Association at the Kencott SDA Church. The service was held under the theme, Building on the Past, Embracing the Future, and attracted the attendance of alumni from North America who came to celebrate this milestone. Past student Dr. Wida Spleen Westley presented a special plaque to the school on behalf of the New York Alumni Chapter. President of EJC and Board Chairman of Kingsway High and Prep Schools, Dr. Ejc Nathan, commended the school for carrying out the mandate of the pioneers of Adventist education in Jamaica, while Education Director for EJC, Dr. Donna Brown, commended the institution for its achievements over the past 75 years. Guest speaker for the day, Dr. Davisita Swaby, who is an alumnus and now pastor for the Apple Creek SDA Church in Canada, highlighted the importance of the home, church, and school in the life of children.
This 75-year-old institution may look shoddy in some people's mind, may look insignificant in some people's mind, may appear to be unattractive, but it has what our boys and girls need in the 21st century.
Pastor Michael Henry, JAMU Education Director, also spoke at the service, along with Elder Keith Nugent, President of the Kingsway High School Alumni Association, Jamaica Chapter, and Acting Principal of the school, Mrs. Alethea Williams.
We're not just any prep school. Our aim, yes, is academics. Yes, we did very well this year, at least 8 subjects, 100% passes in CSEC. Yes, we have that. Currently, we have the highest average in terms of literacy and numeracy. We have that, but that's not all. When Jesus comes, when he comes, we can say, Lord, these are our children.
A total of 50 persons from 13 churches benefited from Girls of Eloquence, Morals and Standards GEMS Prayer and Fasting Service held the last Sunday in January at the East Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. Included in that number were 44 GEMS and 6 facilitators. This was the first official activity for the new year for the GEMS, which was accentuated by the Revival and Reformation theme for the first quarter of 2018, made strong through the power of the Word, interceding for our families. Coordinator, Dr. Yvette Castell, Family, Women, Children and Adolescents Ministries Director of the EJC, Elder Claudia Genus, and Shepherdess, Dr. Anne-Marie Williams, shared in the program with the GEMS. Important stewardship principles were shared with stewardship leaders and conference administrators at the first Stewardship Congress for the year at the Hagley Park SDA Church. Dr. John Matthews, Stewardship Ministries Director of the North American Division and author of the current Adventist World Church Adult Sabbath School lesson, was the main presenter at this Congress. The Congress, which was organized by the Stewardship Department of JAMU in collaboration with the EJC Stewardship Department, was held under the theme Motives of the Heart. In his presentation, Dr. Matthews encouraged the church not to be drawn into the seductive allure of materialism. The Congress was also attended by all 3 administrators of EJC, as well as Elder Walden Wright, the Stewardship Director of EJC. And for a look at events to come in the month of February and onwards, please visit our website at www.ejcsda.com and subscribe to our mailing list. And you can also have a look at our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at EJCSDA. And that caps this month's edition of EJC News. God bless.